Hey guys, in this clip I'd like to present to you a rather interesting position which is closer to the endgame probably, even though there are some middle game ideas as well. And I was just rather impressed by the clarity and speed with which White managed to convert his positional advantage here, based on the somewhat more active pieces. This bishop tends to be rather active. Well, Black, of course, seems to be attacking f2 as well, but his pieces are placed in a slightly wrong order. He should rather have his queen as the first main piece in the column. Uh, and I would say the most difficult move in the game is the first one in this fragment. So I'd like you to pause this video straight away and think how to continue as white. To be honest, if white had to play something like rook to f1, I'd say his advantage would decrease drastically and probably it would just be almost equal. White would of course keep some slight pressure, but there is nothing for black to fear, to be honest. And White, of course, knew and used the following idea very well. In the endgame, very often the activity of pieces is way more important than any material gains. Here, this move is also based on a small tactical nuance. White went rook a8. The idea being that after bishop to f2, which was actually played in the game, black did take the bait. I think he should have taken the rook after, say, queen a8, bishop f8 or something, say queen d5, queen a7, now just something like h4. White has huge chances to convert his advantage, as black pieces are simply never getting to get active. But of course, black would also have some chances to fold, even though they are not that big. For instance, since both pawns are hanging, he would play b4. Now white would just pick the pawn. Say queen e7, now just something like queen f5 or queen d5. Both I think are good. And white just has a safe extra pawn with decent chances to win. However, black did take the pawn, now king to f1. And now, not only rook takes f8 is hanging with a mate, well, I mean, of course, a mate into is the most convincing thing, but also queen takes f7 instantly. And here, black already has hard time defending. If he took on a8 after queen a8, king h7, bishop f7, I think the position is entirely hopeless for black, who has barely any good defense to queen to g8, which is why in the game he went queen f6. But here I found a very lovely, convincing way how to convert. It's a forcing continuation, so I'd like you to make a pause and make sure to find this yourself, otherwise you would regret missing such a beautiful continuation. White came up with a brilliancy. Queen takes f7. Queen takes, bishop takes, king takes, and now just rook takes f8, king takes f8, and king takes f2. And this endgame is entirely winning for white, since he's got an outside passer. So white just plans to get his king to e4 and then just plays c3, b3, and c4. And black has nothing to do about it. What would happen is that this outside passer would just distract the black king. White would take this pawn and prove faster, just collecting the black king side. And in a few moves, king e7, king e3, king d6, there were some sophisticated maneuvers, as black tried very hard to resist. He went b4, and after c3 he didn't take, he went b3. But still, after a few precise moves, white did convert his advantage, fixed the pawns, and after king c6, king e5, king c5, white calculated a very pretty variation, king f5, knight takes and king e4, and after say king b4, what is the mechanism? We just push the black king away and just pick this pawn on b3. So here black tried king to d4, but then just king to f4, king to c5, now king to e5, and we are managing to push the black king away once again. Black took, and now it's the same story, king e4, king c5, king d3, king d5, king c3, and white just proves much faster, king c3. The following line I think is pretty easy to calculate. Everything is extremely straightforward. Oops, h4 would be played, b7, h3, and white to promote with a check, making sure that black is not in time to go h2. And even though this pawn race and pawn endgame seems to be too long, and you could get somewhat puzzled, especially if you looked at that without pausing the video. But I think the most important part was the first move that Bent Larsen, an amazing Danish grandmaster, came up with, rook to a8, sacrificing the pawn temporarily in order to get the activity for the remaining pieces and put a lot more pressure instead of the passive moves such as rook to f1. And after taking king to f1, queen f6, of course, I cannot help but praise his lovely tactical vision, as well as the ability to evaluate the pawn endgame rather convincingly. So I just wanted to introduce this idea to you as something that would help you decide for active choices rather than passive defensive moves, and demonstrate how you can benefit from the superior activity of your pieces. That was quite a short clip. Nevertheless, I hope it was instructive. Please leave your comments below the video and subscribe to the channel. Thanks. See you in the next clip.